Big G and Matty on the Big G Country.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Big G and Matty here on YouTube and podcast. And well, Matty's not here this week. He's on vacation. But I am in the heart of everything I love. We're at the Draper Racing Shop here in Eastern Ontario. And we're going to do the show right here from this racing shop. I don't know about you, but you know what they've always say? Real men do it in the dirt. And here in Eastern Ontario, we specialize in dirt racing. We've got some video for you here on this show. And not only that, years ago, I was an announcer at a dirt racetrack. And I'm just going to show you a clip of me from the old days when I was announcing dirt racing. So stay tuned. We've got a lot happening. And we're going to be talking to the Draper boys, and we're going to talk about their race shop and show you around the different kind of cars they have here in the shop and everything that we do to make racing as fun to all the race fans. So if you're a race fan, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Rita Acres is the place to be.
It's that time of year. Time to plan your summer vacations and weekend fun. Why not book now for your summer camping and RVing at Rita Acres Family Campground, Eastern Ontario's full-service camping facility, located on a UNESCO World Heritage Site known as the Rideau Canal, on a series of lakes joined by lock systems that links Kingston to Canada's capital city, Ottawa. Rita Acres is only 10 minutes from downtown historic Kingston. Here's what Rita Acres has to offer you and your family when you visit. The spacious pull-through campsites, trailers, and motorhomes. The swimming pool staffed with lifeguards. A beautiful beach to enjoy for a relaxing afternoon of fun and family. Excellent fishing on Colonel By Lake. A boat docking facility for your fishing or pleasure craft. Boats, canoes, and kayaks available for rent. A beautiful banquet hall for weddings or meetings to fit any occasion. 136 acres of outdoor adventure, hiking, biking, playground, swimming, fishing, horseshoes, basketball, and so much more. Make Rita Acres your camping destination this year. You better book now. We're filling up fast. Visit ritaacres.com or call 613-546-2711.
Rita Acres is the place to be. Come on out, you'll see a vacated community.
Well, here we are with Tristan Draper, and Tristan had a pretty good weekend this last weekend at the races in Brockville, Ontario. What did you do there, Tristan, on Saturday night?
We took the car to Victory Lane twice. Not too often you get to run two features in one night, and we got lucky enough to start at the front both times, and we just planted the car and stayed there, and the car worked really well and worked well at the top, worked well at the bottom, and we put a lot of work into this week to get it back into shape for racing. But
well, it's not often that somebody wins two features, but you're a little wrong on your count for Saturday night. You actually won 3 races on Saturday night, because they also blew away the competition on the heat race, the qualifying race. And all your racers out there know how important it is to finish up front in a qualifying heat, because then you start up front in the feature race, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So
good job for you.
Thank you.
And not only that, from what I understand, it's only the second time in the history of the Speedway that someone has won 2 features back-to-back on the same night. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, they told me that. I think Danny was the only other one that did that. So
yeah, a great racer here in Eastern Ontario from the O'Brien family, Danny O'Brien. Now, we're standing in front of Tristan's car. He's got more than one, by the way. And we're going to talk a little bit about the components in this car. Like, for example, this is what they call a Northeast Dirt Modified. So tell us a little bit about the chassis work on this. How modified is it?
Well, there's nothing stock about it, really. When you come down to really anything, the front axles are floating now with the USB rods. The rear end, it's twists, and the floor moves in the car. Everything about it, the body, the tin work to make the air flow nice. The modifieds, the motors are modified. Everything about them really is changed in a stock car point of view.
So we've just been showing some video of how the cars are twisting going through the turns that we've got. Tell us a little bit about this motor. What kind of motor is this?
It is a Chevy small block, 358. East LaFrance built this one in Cornwall, Ontario. It's a good motor. I've had it for now 2 years, and I haven't had any hiccups with it, so we're just going to keep plugging away and keep using it.
So the idea of racing on dirt is to make the car, and I'll use the word twist, but let's say it doesn't stay flat usually like they do on pavement, right?
No, that's correct. Yeah, we tend to lift the left front wheel quite a bit. The right rear kind of squishes out, left rear comes up, and it's more of a drift through the corner than anything compared to turning wise on pavement and stuff like that.
We talked to Tristan a little while ago, as a matter of fact, when we were here in the shop one day, about how he got started in racing, and here's that interview.
So Tristan, how'd you get started in racing?
My dad came home one day and said that we should go buy a go-kart and start racing go-karts at Brockville Speedway. And I, of course, I loved the idea, so we ended up getting one off of Dylan Evoy a long time ago. My grandfather used to race at Kingston Speedway and Brockville Speedway, and that's kind of where my dad got the interest and got me interested, and that's where we got the number 17. It was my grandfather's number. And it just kind of took off from there, and our neighbors Glenn and Luke were selling their sportsman car. So I kept bugging my dad about it, and he finally went over and we brought her home, and we're here now. So.
So now you race small block 358. Tell us about that. Tell us about the equipment you have this year.
This year's probably some of the best equipment I've had. It's a 2021 TO. It's all new. The shocks, everything are from Stefan LaFrance at Trick Race Parts. The motor, I had a friend of ours, Bobby Bullock, come down and set it all up for us. It's a Kevlar racing engine, so it's we end up getting it from Kerry Terrence. So hopefully it's a good piece, and we can be a contender this year.
Well, behind me is a sprint car, and we're going to be talking to the young lad that drives this car, Kalyn Draper, in just a minute. But a while ago, Matty and I had a phone call from our good friend, Jimmy the Janitor. And no matter what we're talking about on the show, whether it's fishing or racing or going to a country festival or whatever, he's always got to chime in. Well, this time we were talking about racing on the show, and Matty, well, he wants so bad to win at whatever it is that I do, like racing. So he entered a tractor pull, believe it or not, and he entered a demolition derby. And oh no, Jimmy had to chime in to talk about his experience of tractor pulls and demolition derbies, and even a little NASCAR story. So here he is with Big G and Matty. Here's our good buddy, Jimmy the Janitor.
Hey, Big G and Matthews, how you doing, boys? So I hear Matthews didn't do so well in the tractor pull or the demolition derby last weekend. Well, you should have sent him over to me, Biggie. Yeah, I could have given Matty some pointers. I love you guys. I tell you, I love you guys.
So, what do you know about tractors, Jimmy? I mean, did you grow up at a farm or something?
Well, I remember one day I was milking a cow and I was just getting into a good rhythm when a bug flew into the barn and started circling my head. Then all of a sudden the bug flew into the cow's ear.
Well, what happened then, Jimmy?
I didn't think much of it until the bug squirted out into the bucket while I was milking it. It went in one ear and out the other. Oh. What a crowd, I tell you.
Yeah, we get it, Jimmy, the udder, yeah.
So Matthews got beat in the demolition derby too, did he? Well, why do you keep putting him into these contests, Biggie? Especially if he's no good at it.
Well, what makes you so special, Jimmy? What, did you even drive a car?
Are you kidding me? I drive my wife Danica's car every day to and from work. It's a Geo Metro, 1 liter of raw power, 3 cylinders of asphalt tearing terror on 13-inch rims. When I pull up to a stoplight, Yugos and Volkswagens fear me. What a crowd, I tell you, what a crowd. When I pull off the line, my P165 SR13s are screaming, man, I tell you.
Come on, Jimmy. I think you're getting a little carried away here, aren't you?
What do you mean, Biggie? You should be using me to drive that 01 car instead of that Rabby kid.
Well, come on. Get serious, Jimmy. I mean, you couldn't drive a horse to water.
Oh, hey, did I ever tell you about the snail that wanted to become a NASCAR driver?
No, Jimmy, but I'm sure you're gonna.
Yeah, well, the snail went to the track, and Joe Gibbs told him he couldn't have a number on the car. But you can have an S because you're a snail. Well, the race started, and the snail's car was at the back. But then, all of a sudden, he sped to the front, overtaking all the other cars, and won the race. All the spectators in the stands at Bristol Motor Speedway saw the snail speed past him, and they all yelled, "Hey, look at that S car go!" No respect, I tell you, no respect at all. I love you guys. What a crowd, what a crowd.
Okay.
S car go, I thought it was a good one.
All right, with me now on the program is Kalyn Draper. And Kalyn, he's a special kid because he doesn't have one race car. He's got 2 different race cars. How old are you, Kalyn?
I'm 15.
15 years old. So how long have you been racing?
This is my 3rd year in the Sportsman, 2nd year in the Sportsman, but I had a year in the Rookie Sportsman as well.
Now, how old were you when you actually raced? Because didn't you race go-karts?
Yeah, I raced go-karts. I started when I was 5 or 6 years old.
My point being, all these kids that are racing these days, he's 15 years old, and most people watching this would say, wow, he's only 15, but he's been racing for 10 years already, because he was 5 years old when he started. So, and a lot of kids today are racing go-karts, right?
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Where did you start racing go-karts?
I started at the Brockville, Ontario Speedway, and then I went to Brighton a couple times a year as well.
So that got you, and also the experience of mechanically working on the go-kart, right?
Yeah.
And that relates to working on these cars?
Yep.
I've seen you in the shop. You're pretty handy, let me tell you. Now, behind us, this is a sprint car. So tell me the difference. Now, you've driven a modified. I saw that of your brothers. And this year, you're driving both a modified car and a sprint car. So what would be the difference of driving these 2 cars?
Difference of driving these cars is when you kind of go into the corner, these cars are always right on the right front and the left front's going in the air. These cars with the big wing on the top, when they roll into the corner, the left rear, it goes down the left rear and the right front comes in the air. So it's a little different driving.
I guess so. So on these cars, are you turning right a lot going through the corner?
Yeah, it depends. If I miss the setup a little bit too loose, yeah.
And maybe how fast you go in the corner, right?
Yeah.
I guess so. Now, there's a wing here right behind Kalyn, and this wing goes on top of this sprint car, and that gives you what?
Downforce.
So that it really should hug the track more than what modified.
Yeah, the sprint cars have a lot more grip on the track than the modifieds.
Wow, that must be unbelievable. 15 years old, and now you're driving both kind of cars. That's amazing, Kalyn, for sure. And I know you work a lot on it too, so congratulations.
Thanks.
Good luck for the rest of the year.
Thanks.
I just hope that wing doesn't end up upside down. These sprint cars, they are, when you watch them race, and I know you people who watch sprint car racing, you know what I'm talking about, boy. They fly through the air pretty good. Listen, we're going to be right back, and we're going to be talking a little more about how these cars get to look the way they look, and also a little clip on when I was an announcer at the local speedway here for many years. Right after this word from another one of our great sponsors, Lennox Fence.
Lennox Fence is Eastern Ontario's fencing specialists. We are the professionals for all your fencing needs. Some people just want to build their own fence. But one call to Lennox Fence will get you the professionals to complete the job, guaranteed perfect. So whatever your fencing needs, residential, commercial, agriculture, or industrial, call Lennox Fence for an estimate. 613-354-3449. Highway 41 north of Selby. Lennox Fence, owned and managed by the Houston Group.
Well, here I am now in the race shop of Draper Racing in Eastern Ontario, and I'm in front of a brand new, they're called Tio modified dirt car that has never seen the track yet. But I can see by the way the boys are starting to put this together, it's probably going to hit the track pretty soon. Now you see this car that's totally bare, and there's no markings on it whatsoever. But this car behind me has all these markings, and you can see the markings here. Draper, sponsored by Draper Doors, sponsored by, well, a whole lot of great sponsors, because in racing, if you don't have a sponsor, then you don't have a huge budget either. So you've got to have these sponsors to help you race all year long. And how does this car get to look like this? Well, guess what? We paid a visit to HG, Harrington Graphics, not too long ago, and they were actually wrapping all the panels on a car I own that's driven by my son, Tim McColeman. And here's how that went to show you how these cars are wrapped with all the sponsors.
So, Bobby, there you are. You're wrapping the 09T panels off the race car. These panels just clip on. So tell me a little bit about the process that you're doing here today.
So basically we've done all the work on the computer and the printing and all that, and now we have a finished product here and we're gonna install it on the panels.
So this goes on the panel, and then we've already shown you the race car with nothing on it, and then these panels are now being lettered, or what you call it, with all the information, including our sponsors on there, like McColeman Media, Draper Doors, Len Corcoran Excavating. We've got Lennox Fence up here at the front, Kids for Kids that we like to talk about. Mark is just going over my good friend Serge there, Serge at Coldbrook Auto Service. And let's see here, we've got Pro Stripe Traffic Lines, which happens to be our good friend Mike Raby. And without sponsors, race cars, it's pretty hard to race. Bobby, you're a pretty good racer yourself, and I understand this year you're going to be racing, right?
I am, yeah. I'm going to run sportsman car this year for Dan Dottie.
And what tracks will you be racing at?
I think plan is, we're kind of still in the midst of seeing what the scheduling is going to look like and all that, but I think we're going to run Brockville every week, and then we'll go to Cornwall a little bit as well.
Now, I was just thinking, well, when they wrap the car, of course, they take the smooth it out really nice.
Years ago, I was an announcer at a dirt racetrack, and I'm just going to show you a clip of me from the old days when I was announcing dirt racing.
Coming up, turn 4, the crowd on its feet, it's 66, 24, 48, 72, they're at the line, it's the rookie, the teenager shows them today, what a race, what a race.
Well, that does it for another edition of Big G and Matty. Matty will be back with us next week. Don't worry about it, folks. He's just on vacation this week. But it's been a pleasure for me to be in the hub, the heart of any racing family and any racing team right here in the Draper Racing Compound in Eastern Ontario. And if you're a racer out there, we wish you the best of luck for the rest of this racing season here in 2021. It's been a tough couple of years, especially to the promoters of racetracks who've have been running races without fans, and now fans are starting to come back to racing. It's so good, whether you're at NASCAR or you're at the local dirt track like we are here. So to find us on YouTube, hit the search button and go to Big G Country. Big G and Matty will pop up. And don't forget, when it does, watch us and hit that subscribe button. You can also find us audio on podcast on iTunes and Podbean. So make sure you follow us each and every week. And to tell your friends about us. We need as many of you to subscribe to us each and every week. Hit that subscribe button. You'll hear a little ding. There it is. And you'll be able to follow us each and every week, and we'll tell you when the next program comes on your email. So thank you so much for being with us this week. Next week, who knows where we'll be, but one thing's for sure, Matty will be back with us right here on Big G and Matty. And our thanks to Draper Doors and the Draper Racing family for inviting us into their racing shop this week.
Big G and Matty on Big G Country.